Hello there and welcome to Star Wars 1000. Star Wars question of the day: should there be another trilogy in the Skywalker Saga? Now, I have a feeling I know the majority of fans' answers to this question. I think most fans do not want another trilogy in the Skywalker Saga. I think they want to move on to new eras like the Old Republic, the High Republic, maybe even further back or maybe even further forward. And I want that too. I want to explore new eras. I want to leave the Skywalker Saga alone for now. Well, I don't want to leave it alone. I don't want to go be exploring like new movies in this era, and I want to move on to different eras. I just really want the era between episodes 6 and 7 explored. I think we're going to eventually lead into some sort of big Thrawn Wars that happen in between the eras of episode 6 and 7. I think that era needs to be fleshed out a little bit more, and obviously it is. We have the Mandalorian and the Ahsoka show and other shows that are being made in that era. I think the Skeleton Crew show is being made in between episodes 6 and 7. But other exploring that era in the Star Wars timeline, I think we should leave the Skywalker Saga alone for now. I think we need to be exploring other eras. I want to see movies that take place in between, like the High Republic era, maybe a little bit in the Old Republic. Don't leave the Knights of the Old Republic stuff alone. I don't want a Revan movie or anything like that, because I feel like the story of Revan works best when we get to choose his story in an RPG game. But you get the idea. I think we should be exploring new eras, and we should leave the Skywalker Saga alone for now. I wouldn't hate the idea of going back to the Skywalker Saga again, and I also wouldn't hate the idea of having another trilogy in the Skywalker Saga. I know most fans would probably disagree with my opinion on there could be another trilogy, and I get it. I want to get new characters as well as and new eras. I want to explore different parts in the timeline, like I said earlier in the video. But if they decide to go back to the Skywalker Saga at some point in like the next 10 to 15 years, and if they have a story that is worth telling, then I wouldn't dislike the idea of an episode 10, 11, and 12. Actually, originally there was supposed to be episodes 10, 11, and 12. The whole vision of George Lucas was episodes 1 through 12, and obviously he cut that down to 9, because originally episodes 7, 8, and 9 was supposed to be about Luke finding his long-lost sister, and there's supposed to be something else going on in those 3 movies as well. But he scrapped that idea and just made it all part of episode 6. His long-lost sister ended up not being a long-lost sister. His sister ended up being Leia. They resolved everything in episode 6, and that was supposed to be a finale instead of making like episode 7, 8, and 9. And then 10, 11, and 12 I think would have been about the Luke Skywalker passing down the mantle to the next generation, and the original episode 10, 11, 12 got moved to 7, 8, and 9. So the original idea was there to be 9 movies instead of 12. I don't hate the idea of there being 12 movies, and I think if they make a new trilogy, I think they should make this for every fan, like for the prequel fans, for the original trilogy fans, and for the sequel fans. I think this should be meant for all 3 fans. If they do another trilogy, no more passing down the mantle. This should be a trilogy that's meant for original trilogy fans, prequel trilogy fans, sequel trilogy fans, or a fan of all 3 trilogies. I think that's what they could do if they decide to make another trilogy. It could be made for every fan. And how would that even work? I do have an idea that I'll probably make for another video. I'm not saying it's mandatory. I'm not saying I really want this. I'm just saying if they ever decide to want to go back to the Skywalker Saga, they want to continue the story of Rey and Poe and Finn, and they want to continue those characters' stories, I think they could do that with another trilogy. And then I feel like there's a way to make this a finale for all fans, and this could be like a celebration of all 3 trilogies and to celebrate the fans that like all 3 of those movies. Now, I know episode 9 was intended to be the ending of the Skywalker Saga. It was made for that purpose. It was supposedly supposed to wrap up all the storylines and all the characters, and I'm sure some people feel it was a good ending for everything Star Wars Skywalker Saga related. I personally disagree with that. I don't feel like it was a good finale to the Skywalker Saga. It might be a good finale to the sequel trilogy, which that's debatable, but to me it doesn't feel like an ending to the Skywalker Saga. It feels like an ending just for sequel trilogy storylines going on. It just felt like it could have done more to make it feel like a finale to the Skywalker Saga. It felt like it was a finale for the sequel trilogy, and that's okay. But as a finale to the Skywalker Saga, kind of felt like a letdown. It felt like a finale to the sequel characters and the sequel trilogy, not really a finale to the Skywalker Saga as a whole. And that's why I wouldn't hate the idea of there being another trilogy, to have it feel like this is the finale of the Skywalker Saga. This is the finale to everything, all the characters, all the storylines. This is the end. This is like no more. This isn't passing down the mantle to a new generation. Wait, this is all generations. This is for one big finale, and I think there is a way for them to do that. It might involve world between world stuff, and I feel like if they do make another trilogy, I don't even know if they would do something like this. I don't know if they would ever make something for all fans. This is just my idea, and this is what I would like to see from another trilogy. I would like to see a finale for the Skywalker Saga for all three trilogies, just a finale to wrap every storyline, every character up. And I'm probably going to make a future video pitching that idea, because my idea for another trilogy is really long and really crazy, might involve world between world stuff, and it sounds really fan-fiction-y, but I feel like that would be the only way to make a new trilogy for all fans. And some people might really hate the idea of there being another trilogy, but I only feel like this because I didn't feel like episode 9 was a finale to the Skywalker Saga. I don't know, I think I'm in the minority of thinking that there should be another trilogy, or not there should be, that there could be the idea of another trilogy. So at the end of the day, should there be another trilogy in the Skywalker Saga? My answer is yes and no. Like, yes, because I wouldn't hate the idea, and I think there could be a better and a more proper conclusion to everything. And I also say no at the same time, because it's like, let's move on, let's go to new eras, let's leave this era alone. And if they want to explore the characters of Rey, Finn, and Poe, they can do that in an animated TV series in the future that has like no Skywalker connection and no more movies, just animated stuff for those characters. Which, I don't know, I think that would be kind of a shame, because I would like to see Daisy Ridley back as Rey, and John Boyega, if he ever decides to come back, as Finn. I think that should be back in live action. I would like to see Poe back too, and whatever. It is what it is. They're probably done. You know, it is what it is if they are done. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't hate the idea, and I think there is an idea for there to be made for another trilogy. So to wrap up the video, may the Force be with you always.